I get demonetized. But man, Nirvana's good. Comment below if you guys are Nirvana fans, because way back in the day, actually funny story, when I was like 13 years old, I had a band with a bunch of my buddies from school, and we were called the Ferrets. I made the logo, it was a ferret, in case you were wondering. And anyways, we're a cover band. We tried obviously making our own songs, but what we did do was we did one gig at a local bar, and we bombed it, man. You know, I was the bass player and I was singing, and you know, as soon as we finished our song, we did Smells Like Teen Spirit from Nirvana, and as soon as we were done, I said, how did we do? I asked my mom, and she said, you know, you didn't sound very good, you were off tempo, off beat, pitch wasn't right, and I was like, damn, we suck. So that's a funny story from back in the day, but man, there was nothing like, you know, just grooving out to that music back then, and even now I feel like that music still hits the same, which is pretty crazy. But man, like, yeah, we'd be jamming in my buddy's basement. He had a pretty sick setup in the basement. He was the drummer, and so he had his drum set there in his basement, and then we would bring our guitars over, and he basically had all the equipment we needed. We probably could have even recorded music if we wanted to, but you know, we ended up growing apart and stuff. So anyways, I'm on my way to the gym right now. It's shoulders and triceps day, and we're gonna smash it. So I got my pre-workout right here. I got the Pre-HD Ultra sour gummies. Super good. And we're going in for some blood and guts. Absolutely crush it today. We did have a little bit of a game change plan, a change of game plan, excuse me. And the change was that we might just be focusing on a different show, not Toronto. And honestly, there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is, well, pushing my body to get that lean that quick, since it's only 11 weeks, might be a little hard to do. We're still doing it, like we haven't actually changed the actual plan yet. I'm still trying to get lean as quick as possible. But the thing is like I'm still around 300 pounds, and I ended up tweaking my back, so I had to take 2 days off from cardio as well, which set me back a little bit, considering the fact that I'm not quite ahead yet to begin with. So with that being considered, and I'm gonna pose today and see how I feel and see how I look, most importantly. And obviously today I'm going to be careful with my training. I'm not going to be doing probably anything too crazy, especially with like free weights and stuff. But you know, I feel fine. I saw Eric yesterday, and he fixed me up good. It was just a couple of days before I saw Eric that it was pretty banged up. But it's my fault for doing deadlifts off the floor. You know, just because they're hardcore and they're fun to do, it doesn't mean that it's actually going to be beneficial for improving my physique. And you guys know I talk about the whole point of training for me is to improve the physique. So if we're not actually getting that job done, then obviously the game plan has to change. So what we are doing is we're keeping our stiff leg deadlifts in, that's for sure, because those always feel good. And then what we might try out is actually just doing a partial deadlift, right? And partial deadlifts I've always seemed to do well with. Not necessarily always leaning towards like really heavy rack pulls, but I would almost prefer doing a partial deadlift where there's no loss of tension at the bottom. Meaning you're basically doing a rack pull, but you're not actually losing tension like when you touch the rack, right? So that would be the ideal, and that to me is a Dorian Yates deadlift. So that's what we're gonna do for the next couple of like back days, is just try out a partial / rack pull type deadlift and see if I can manage that with the recovery, considering we're still also doing the stiff legs, right? So should be all good. And yeah, so the game plan for today, shoulders and tries, we're gonna go in there, start with a lateral raise, and then we'll work on a rear delt, moving on to a press. That's typically how I like to start my shoulder days. And also in the program, depending on how my back feels today, there would be some heavy shrugs in there. And then basically we've got our 5 movements there for shoulders, and then we've got our 3 for triceps. So overhead, extension, a press down, and then either some type of dip or some type of machine movement. And that should be good for today. So we're just about there now. We'll get warmed up nice. I'm gonna make sure that I do some extra mobility stuff for the lower back, the hips. As that's really what my issue is just being big and heavy at this point, right? It's like, and moving a lot of weight all the time and not necessarily spending enough time doing mobility work. So, you know, what I did want to take from this as a positive, to always try to find, you know, the hidden light in the situation, is that it's a reminder that if I'm going to be my best for this prep, I need to adopt a better mobility program. And that's just going to be something that I have to do on a consistent basis. It's the only way to get better. So with that being said, guys, let's go smash some delts and tries. Welcome back to another epic workout. Today we're working on shoulders and triceps, and we're starting off the workout here with the standing lateral raise machine. I love starting the workout off with this exercise because you're able to get right away a pump in your side delts, isolate your side delts, you get a good stretch at the bottom, you get a good squeeze at the top, and again, you can just really focus on getting a lot of blood in your shoulders right away. So what we do is we will start off with 3 warm-up sets with about 15 reps per set. Again, just trying to get blood in the shoulders. And then for our working set, we're going to do 1 final working set. We're going to take that working set to failure, and then we're going to continue with partial reps beyond failure until you can barely move it even 1 inch. That's the full working set before we move on to our shoulder press. The shoulder press machine, this hammer strength one, I do like it a lot because it's very smooth. It really hits the front delts really well. The only downside to this machine in particular is that it's a very light stack. Therefore, you're able to use basically the entire weight stack with relative ease. And so what we did here on this working set, we ended up actually doing 2 working sets. As you'll see, Eric Seifert joins us, and he came over and he said, hey, we're gonna make this harder. So this first set here with me and Alex, we went for as many reps as possible with the full stack. I think we got 15 or more. And then we did another following up set with slightly less weight with Eric, who slowed it down. He made us do pauses at the bottom, and then therefore we were unable to do as much weight or as many reps. Both sets were to failure though. Next, we worked on our standing dumbbell lateral raise. And with this one in particular, a lot of guys end up hitting more of their front delts. So one of the tips that I like to do, which you can't see in the video, is that I'm actually standing with my heels on 10-pound plates. So what that does is that just pitches your entire body slightly forward. And if you can imagine, as you do that dumbbell lateral raise, if you're pitched slightly forward, it's going to be a lot harder for you to lean back and lift your chest up and lean backwards, which a lot of guys will do, especially if you go really heavy on these. So we did 2 working sets. The first one was slightly heavier, and we took that set to failure. Then we did another set, a back off set with slightly less weight. We took that one to failure with partials. Okay, next we're working on the rear delts. So we're using the rear delt fly here, or the reverse pec deck, and we're going to be doing, again, 2 sets. The first set here, we're doing an isometric hold, alternating on each arm, holding it at the top. So where the shoulder is the fully contracted position. And then we're gonna be going directly into 2 arms at the same time. This is a mechanical drop set. It's very intense. It's also really great at helping you develop a mind-muscle connection, especially in those tricky areas like rear delts. The following set, the second set here, what we did was we did an isometric hold at the bottom position. So holding it in the stretch position while the other arm moves. And then again, following it up with both arms at the same time to failure. And then also doing partials and also a 2-arm isometric hold here at the bottom. You're gonna see me hold it for about 3, 2, 1. And then that was pretty much it for shoulders, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna be working on some tricep press downs. These press downs are definitely a staple in my workout routine. Definitely one of the best mass builders for your triceps. Now, a lot of people will think you've got to do close grip bench and stuff like that to build mass in your triceps. Well, that's not necessarily true, because those are going to be compound movements which use also a lot of chest and front delt, which is great. But if we really just want tricep, well, we got to train that bad boy directly. So what we're doing here with the cable press downs is we're trying to not lock our shoulders down all the way, but use our shoulders as we would try to almost bring our rear delts into the movement a little bit. And that's what Eric's trying to explain here, is he's trying to get us to actually use our rear delts to lock onto our triceps, which feels amazing and allows you to hit more of your long head of the tricep, that part on the back. Okay, now we were finishing off the workout here with the overhead French press. This is just like a skull crusher. And this is going to hit, again, that long head really well. So what we're really trying to do is keep those shoulders up and protracted rather than keeping them down, okay? We took this set to failure. For triceps, it was just 1 hard set for each, and that's it, guys. Yo guys, what's up? We just finished the workout and the battery is running out, so I'm gonna make this one real quick. But man, today was really fun. I'm feeling a lot better after today's workout. Really successful shoulder and tricep day. Ended up running into my buddy Alex, ended up running into Eric, and we did the triple threat 3-man team for the shoulders and tris. Did a little bit of posing, and I'm actually pretty happy with how things are looking right now. So, you know, the last couple days, a little rough because I had a back tweak. Couldn't train, like I said, but you know what? We're turning it around, guys. We're really turning it around, and the most important thing is to always stay positive no matter what. Put on a smile on the hardest days, because then on the easy days, they're just gonna feel so much better.